Welcome to the Knitting Yak virtual edition. Today's guest is Sari Nordlund.
How are you?
I'm good. You see, I'm wearing it.
Me too.
It's so nice. I mean, it's a pity that I can't really go outside today wearing it. It's pouring down here in New York, in Brooklyn. How's the weather there?
It's actually already 10 p.m. here in Finland, so it's dark, but it's been a sunny day. Very nice weather today. So we went outside for a walk in the afternoon.
Right. And you have one son, correct?
Yeah, one son, 4 years old.
Oh, 4 years old. So you don't
have
he's
4 years.
Schooling. You don't have to.
Sorry?
You don't have to do homeschooling yet.
No. He's still in kindergarten, but we have been staying at home for the past 2 weeks. I've been working from home mostly. So it's been a bit challenging with having a 4-year-old running around and shouting, "Mommy, mommy, mommy," when I'm trying to work. But yeah, life is like that at the moment. So.
Yeah. But you can take walks outside.
Yeah, we can go outside still, yes.
And
but not meet any people.
Yeah. So you live more on the countryside, or?
No, we moved to Helsinki in about 4 months ago. So we live in the capital city of Finland now. Not in the very centrum, but very close to the centrum. But we still have a lot of shores and beaches here near us, and a couple of small forests, so we can go and walk there. So there's really good trails around our house, so we don't have to see so many people. So that's good.
Yeah. There's a comment here coming up saying no outdoor walks for us in New York, the epicenter. I hear you. That's where we live.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in Brooklyn, and the showroom is in the city. I tried to go to the showroom yesterday to do some packing and shipping. I can just drive there with my car, just park outside. Nobody's in the building. Yeah. I'm all alone, and I'm happy. But I actually noticed on my way back, the sun was shining. It was a beautiful day, and there were so many people. I got scared. I thought, shelter, stay home, distancing. It was still a bit too many for, It was a little bit hard, but anyway, it's good that that we are doing well. I know a lot of people are concerned about how things are going, and thank God we have all the the health workers and all of the people in the hospital working hard and helping. Oh, hi Rhonda there. So I see a lot of people that I know they're coming up, which is really nice. So you're our first guest, which is we just started this week doing this.
I'm so honored to be here, and this is my first Instagram live ever. I was pretty nervous earlier today, but it's fine.
You've been doing a lot of YouTubes, which I follow, and for the one, if you're listening now and you don't know, Sari has a wonderful YouTube channel, and is that every 2 weeks or every?
I tried to do every 2 weeks, but for example, for the whole February, I couldn't make any episodes. We were sick a lot, so it depends. And now I've been trying to make more videos because of the situation. So it's a bit not very regular, but I try to keep up. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very nice, they're very informative, and of course, we are all great fans of your design. And maybe we should talk about, start with the designs that we are wearing. So
Seleste. Yeah.
From Seleste.
Yeah.
And in our Baby Yak Medium.
Yeah.
So yesterday was the launch day. How is it going so far?
Oh, very well. It's been so well welcomed. I've been really overwhelmed by all the messages that I've been receiving and all the love. So it's been very, very good. So I'm really happy.
And with our Baby Yak Medium, which is the second time that you have used our yarn, and we will talk about it.
Yeah.
A little bit later.
Yeah, I used it a couple of years ago for the Making Stories design. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Sorry, sorry, somebody says that my volume is a bit low. Sorry, let me see.
Yeah.
Can you hear me better now? Or maybe I can just speak a little bit closer to the...
I can hear you very well.
Yeah? Okay. And any question that you have, or any question that, sorry, I'm talking to the people that are following us. Any question that you have, just type them in, and we try to catch up with you and answer the question. And if Sari doesn't see them, I will repeat the question for other people as well.
Yeah.
So I was saying, yes, you it's knit with our Baby Yak Medium, and it's very interesting because we met in Jyväskylä again.
Last summer. I think it was first in Edinburgh, Edinburgh Yarn Festival about exactly a year ago. Yes. And we talked about making a second design, and then we met again in Jyväskylä last summer, and you brought me the yarn. Yes. And now it's finally a pullover and released pattern.
It's it's interesting because when we were at the Jyväskylä festival, I had a lot of different colors, which in our Baby Yak Medium we have a variety of colors, but the mustard, which is the color that you're wearing, has been super popular, and we've been very been difficult for us to keep it on the shelves. Yeah. When you decided to go with the mustard, I thought like, oh my God, I better stock up on mustard, because I had the feeling that this is going to be a beautiful design, because anything you do is beautiful, and I was right. And so much.
I think the dusty pink has been very popular as well, at least among the test knitters. Very many use the same colorway.
Yes.
So it's beautiful.
And actually, I have Diana Goodman she's from Needles in the Hay. Is a Canadian store, is one of our retailer, and she has a Baby Yak in stock. So all the Canadian, if you have any Canadians, I have to remember to breathe. Any Canadians listening, Diana has the Baby Yak in stock. And
in Finland, Lankakauppa Titityy has it. So you can buy it from there. Yeah,
I was dreading how to pronounce Tina's store, and how to pronounce it? And Tina and she's also the organizer of the Jyväskylä festival, and thanks to her that I got there. And she knitted her sample also in mustard, because
it was the same color. Yeah.
So
somebody asked a while back. Somebody asked what was my favorite color for a Seleste, but I really can't answer that, because all the Seleste I have seen, they are all very beautiful. There was one that was like forest green, which is my favorite color. So of course I'm partial to that. And the dusty pink is really beautiful as well, I think. So there are so many that I can't really answer. And the pattern is on Ravelry. Somebody is asking about that.
Yes, the pattern is on Ravelry, and Sari actually has a promotion going on right now. For all of them, I believe it's 20%
Yes,
off.
all my self-published patterns are minus 20% at the moment. So until end of April.
And talking about colors, just so that you know, this is the same color that Sari is wearing, so it's the mustard. A lot of stores have it. Pick Up Every Stitch here in New York, Church Mouse in the US, Monarch Knitting, Loop London, I think Yarn Over Berlin. Bolt Crossing in Italy. We don't have this on our website yet, but it's coming. So if you order it, we will be able to ship to you in the next probably 2 weeks. As you know, right now, all the Italian companies are in total lockdown, so we cannot get the yarn from our mill, but we will hopefully things will improve in Italy very soon, and we will be able to get stock of the mustard. But there are so many beautiful colors, and if you find if you can't find the color, just and we don't have the yarn in stock. I'm in Sydney, Australia. We actually, Skin Sisters has it in Australia, so you can check it. My sister knits in Fort Collins has it. So, write down the names of the stores that know they have it. There's a lot in the US and around the world. I think the Amirizu in Japan carries it as well. So try with that. And so I'm talking about colors, but it's a question. How is that your English is so good? Did you ever live in an English-speaking country?
Yeah, that's not a question. I lived in Indonesia when I was a teenager, so I attended a British international school, and ever since that, I've had a lot of English-speaking friends, so I speak quite a lot of English, and I read almost everything that I read. All the books are in English, so that's probably why.
I'm proud of my accent.
quite a lot of Finnish people speak very good English because our language is so weird and so small, so we have to learn English to get along in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody knows Finnish.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the Seleste?
Yeah. When we first talked about the design, I said that I wanted to create something with a lot of cables because that's what I like knitting and designing the most. And I had this idea of having like a lot of cables on the front. And then there's this pullover that's been popping out on Instagram and on Pinterest. So if you follow Pinterest and knitting patterns and so on, you've probably seen there's like this my favorite clothing brand from it's French brand called Cézanne, and they have this really nice, I think the pullover is called Pauline, and it has this really nice scalloping lace pattern that is growing. I think everybody has probably seen it, and I was really fascinated about that, and I somehow I got like really I wanted to create the same kind of pattern, and I was like trying to figure out how to do it, and then I came across this really beautiful Estonian lace pattern, and I fell in love with it, and so I wanted to use that. So has been inspired by old Estonian lace shawls from Haapsalu. So that's how it came along, and I don't think I have ever swatched as much as I have for this one because I wanted to get it just right and started from the top and it's growing down. So I wanted to make it just perfect.
The yoke is incredibly beautiful. I mean, I've seen pictures of just the yoke, like like many pictures on Instagram, and of course, I'm spoiled because the Kame prolific knitter who made these samples for us not only makes beautiful samples, she takes incredible pictures. So
that's true. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Really amazing. When I was, I saw Yo coming along, and then I saw hers, and I was so happy. But it's just like it's really blooming. Maybe because like spring is out, and I see all those bubbles, and I feel. I feel, it has that texture that is really, really incredible. And I think, of course, I'm partial to the Baby Yak, and I've seen other versions as well with other yarn, and they look very beautiful as well. But this one has this certain drape that is also very nice. I like it because it's roomy, it's very, has space. And what about the ease? Do you want to talk about that, or?
There's slight positive ease, about 5 to 10 centimeters, so not a lot, but still like enough so that it's not like hugging you too much. So it's comfortable to wear.
And we have done different versions. You have a long sleeves version, and I don't know if you see, so we have done a short sleeves version just because it's the way I prefer it. And both ways are really, really nice because I can wear it over something, or and like a layer. I can wear it. I actually tried it on with a little dress underneath, so it would be good for spring and fall. And Felicia from Pick Up Every Stitch is a wonderful store here in New York, says now is the time to embark on an intricate sweater since we have no interruptions, right? And Felicia has the yarn, as I said. I think she has a lot of the Baby Yak in different colors as well. And I think everywhere, a lot of the stores, both here in the US and in Europe and all around the world, had to close down for, of course, for safety reason. But most of them do ship from, from their homes, so from the stores. The store owners still manage to go to the store. So this is, it's a sweater quantity. I know is a lot. Baby Yak is not the cheapest yarn on the market, but it's a wonderful way to support the designer if you get a pattern, and support your local yarn store, or us on the website. Is a wonderful project that and Felicia says is, you need some time, but the bubbles are not so difficult. They're not as difficult as some other bubbles, because I see your Can you explain about the bubbles a little bit?
Yeah, usually I hear people don't like making bubbles because they don't like turning the work like wrong side, right side, wrong side, right side. So I understand that, but these are actually worked on 2 rows. On the first row, you create new stitches. So these are like you create 7 stitches into 1 stitch, and on the second row, when you come back on the second row, then you decrease. So that's how they are created. So it's a lot faster than usually, and I think they look really, really nice, really even and plump. So there's no turning around, no working from wrong side at all.
Right. I see Trisha Highs, True Color Fibers. She's one of your test knitter as well. Yeah. I believe she has done it in the Tibetan Sky, if I recall, or in the Oatmeal, one of the 2 colors that we have. So is either one of the 2, and I remember. So these are 2 beautiful colors as well. This is like a bluish gray, it's called Tibetan Sky, and the Oatmeal, which is the natural color of the
Hey,
baby.
Tina.
And Tina is there. How you feeling, Tina? And are you walking around? So Tina is the owner of the store. Thank you, in Jyväskylä. And so she was one of the test knitters as well. And so I was very lucky to be able to attend the Jyväskylä festival last year. And sorry, Tina, if I say that again, but it's so funny. She has made the most amazing video showing her store. You can find it on YouTube, or if you follow her store or herself on Instagram, and it's all in Finnish. But you don't really need to understand, because the way she is, the way she acts, the way she portrays herself in that store is amazing. Of course, and she's wearing her Seleste, so it's an extra reason to watch that video. And and she's wearing it right now, so that's good. It's just something that I think everybody should watch, because it's really funny. Now, in terms of, do you want to say anything else? Do you guys have any questions? Thank you.
And this was actually my first time using the Baby Yak Medium, and I have to say I love the yarn. It's one of the most fabulous yarns that I have ever used, and I really look forward to using it for other projects. It's so great. I can't really say that enough, but it's the best. I think so. Very well done. Yeah.
And we didn't pay you to say that.
Yeah, I'm cheap in that way.
Thank you. No, I think that for people is, as I said, sometimes our sweater quantity of a yarn is not easy, but there is something about it. When you knit with it, just the story behind what we are trying to do with it, the social impact that we are trying to have, makes it even more interesting, especially in a time right now, to bring the support to the population that need it the most, even if there are people so far away from us. For many of you, it's people, their community, the Tibetan nomads community that we care about. Is something that for us is very important, and bringing a skein of this yarn in each of your houses for us is is really important. But do you want to? Shall we talk about a couple of other designs of yours first? So you want to talk about the cowl?
Yeah, Tanita Long. I was thinking about hosting a knit-along for the Seleste pullover, because there has been so much people asking about it, and so many people I know are just now casting on, and so many people have been waiting for the pattern. So, and I love knitting it, and I love wearing it. So I was thinking about casting on a second one. So because I'm knitting one, so why not host a knit-along? So I was thinking about filming a new YouTube episode tomorrow. And I'll probably talk about Tanita Long more in that episode. I just came along with the idea today, so I haven't really figured out everything, how to do it and so on. But I was thinking about hosting it until about midsummer, so there's 2.5 months for everybody to knit their pullover. So I think that's enough time to finish, and you don't need to rush. Yeah.
I think I mean, that's a great idea. I think people will love it, and of course we will join. We will be we will be happy to give a prize or donate.
That would be nice.
We just have to give time, as you said, because some some of people tend to like the colors that they see on you or the sample. So we might have to give, it would be good to have some time to be able to get that color, ship it to stores, have it, and sell it. And as I said, there are so many other colors that are available, to knit this. We have so many. I mean, so many other beautiful colors that you can think of.
I was actually thinking about knitting the second one black, because I need a black pullover, and I think it would look gorgeous in black.
Just picked up black would be fabulous.
Yeah.
I have a lot of customers, they actually knit with our black Baby Yak and love it. So, but I have one of your test knitter, I don't remember the name now, is her Instagram name, I can't remember now. But she's knitting in the Night Flower. So that's she already knitted one in dusty pink, and she's knitting a second one in
I saw that photo. It was pretty beautiful color.
And somebody's asking, and thank you, Amy, for coming in and answering that question. Somebody's asking if it's possible to knit this in our with our Tibetan cloud, which is a light decay. I think it would be a completely different effect. It would be a completely different sweater. It would be much lighter, and I think you would not the texture would not be the same. You can try to see whether you get gauge, but I would recommend to stick with the Baby Yak for sure. And talking about other design, actually, so the previous design, and that's how I really heard about you, was because of the lines, stripes, not lines, stripes issue of making stories.
Yeah, it was an ebook in 2000 and was it 18? Yeah, 2018.
Probably 18. Yeah, 18. Probably 18.
Yeah, I think I started in 2017, but it came out in 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. And for that, you created the Pàs Pullover. You say Pàs?
Yeah.
You say Pàs?
I say Pàs, but I'm not quite sure because I didn't name it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't come up with the name. It was the Girls for Making Stories, but I'm from Finland, so I say Pàs.
Yeah, and I see a lot of Italian coming on. It's after dinner time in Italy, so it's good. Ciao, Claudia. And so that one was knit with our Baby Yak silk, right?
Yes. Another beautiful yarn.
Do you have the sample around, or?
It's actually in another room at the moment. Sorry, I didn't take it here with me.
Okay. That's another beautiful pullover for spring, and for people that love more like brighter colors, our Baby Yak silk for sure has an array of colors that that everybody would love. I think I'm knitting myself with that, so I can just show you a couple of the skeins that I have in the colors of the Baby Yak silk. It's very drapey, very thin. Of course, it's a light fingering, but it's beautiful, and it makes it really nice sweaters or shawls. And the Pàs Pullover definitely is a beautiful. We love the samples.
Thank you.
And now I think it's available as an individual pattern as well.
Yeah, it's available as an individual pattern in my Ravelry store, and it's also now minus 20%. So if you want to get it, so until end of April.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And you also published, this month has been very busy. Yeah. You also.
Yeah. And next month is even busier. There's like so many things happening next month. I can't yet talk about, but there's going to be really great things happening next month.
But you can talk about the show that that was just released in Making Stories again, yeah?
Yeah. I had this in the new issue, the number 3 that came out on Wednesday. Was it on Wednesday? I think. And there's a triangle shawl that I made with Gardener. It's the Gardener number 1, which is a lace weight organic wool yarn, really nice as well. So there's a lace pattern. And then it starts decreasing. So it's worked kind of the other way around that you usually work a triangular shawl. You start with the tip and then you start increasing. This one is worked the other way around. So it's the large part first and then you start decreasing. So it becomes smaller all the time and goes faster. So you get to do the great bit, like the nice part, lace part first, and then it's just decreasing and easy sailing. So it doesn't get that boring. Yeah.
It looks beautiful. I just saw. I
got thank you. Thank you.
I got the advanced issue because we got a pattern in there as well. Beautiful.
I saw that. It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's done with our cloud, and I was flipping through, and I saw this beautiful. Your beautiful shawl, and also our good friend Valentina Consciani, the Italian designer, has included. Actually, her pattern is on the cover. So we are very proud to be Italian. Her on the cover, of course, we would have loved for our yarn to be that too. We've been her Italian, but you can't have everything.
I have a giveaway in my YouTube, in the newest YouTube episode, and I'm giving away one free copy of the Making Stories magazine. So if there's somebody who wants to have the magazine, I will have the giveaway open until tomorrow morning in Finnish time, about noon in Finnish time before I start to film a new episode, and then I will announce the winner in the new episode. So it's worthwhile to watch the episode and take part in the giveaway.
Oh, good.
If you want to have the new magazine. Yeah, it's a beautiful magazine.
I think your story on how you became a designer and how you started, and that's a very interesting story. Do you want to tell us?
What do you want to hear?
How did you start? I know you've been very busy designing with Novita, and maybe, and then you moved on to be more independent designer, but not many people know about it. Do you want to maybe just in a nutshell, or?
Sure. I don't know if you know, but in Finland, especially the girls, everybody is taught how to knit at school. So we learn how to crochet, and we learn to knit when we are about 10 years old. And I never really liked knitting back then, and it didn't really stick with me at that point. And then later, when I was in university, and I've always been like really anxious, and I have a hard time staying put. So I'm always like going like this and drawing in my papers. So somebody told me that maybe you could try knitting because it helps to concentrate. And as I said, that everybody should know how to knit in Finland, and I didn't know how to knit. And then I went home and I started to learn through YouTube videos, and I got really into it. And it's been like taking more and more time over from my life. And when I started to knit, it wasn't very popular at the moment. And it was, at least in Finland, most of my friends thought I was really weird when I started to knit. And it was like granny stuff and so on. And I think it was really hard to find trendy patterns. So I started to make my own patterns, like not writing anything down. I just came up with my own patterns. And I think it was in 2011 when I first came across Ravelry. And that was like an eye-opener for me, because I realized there's so many great designers and so many beautiful patterns around that I didn't know about. So that's how I started to design my own patterns. And I'm a furniture conservator. And I used to work in museums. I was for 10 years in different museums in Finland. And about a year ago, I was asked for a job interview at Novita, which is a yarn company in Finland, and they needed a new knitwear designer. So I went there for a job interview, and that's where I'm now. So I'm no longer working at museums, so I'm a full-time knitwear designer at the moment. So it's been a big change for me, but I'm really glad to make it, and I haven't looked back. So this is really what I want to do. So that's shortly.
If I look at your Ravelry design, you know, you have, you have some beautiful designs, and you go from cables to lace to sweaters to hats and hairband. What is your favorite thing to design?
Pullovers, of course, pullovers and cables. Like I said, they are my favorite, but I also really like to design color work, especially color work for kids, like all those like bunny rabbits and cute stuff. But that's not something that I like to wear so much. I like quite simple clothes and simple colors and muted colors, so quite minimalistic stuff. So now that I work for Novita, I can tap into all that and design more, because usually as an indie designer, you have to always find a balance between the time that it takes time to knit the samples. I usually knit all my samples myself for my indie work, and because I knit them myself, I want them to be something that I enjoy and I wear, because otherwise it's kind of like wasted time. So you have to balance between what you want to do and what is like worthwhile to do. And now that I've worked for a young company and I don't have to knit everything myself for them, so I can like do all kinds of stuff. That's like really nice. I don't know if you saw that I made for our the summer magazine. The Novita has their own magazine, so I made this like a cotton high-waisted hot pants, which I wouldn't probably knit myself for. But yeah, it's fun to do different kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but it's good that you have the freedom to do your own design, things that you will like and to wear. And I think that's one of the reasons why your designs are so beautiful, because they are clearly made for you to wear. And they're not made on thinking about a specific person or something that will sell more than others. You don't have that commercial sense in your design. I think you just put your heart and your soul in every single one of them, and it really comes.
I'm really glad that it shows, because that's something that I struggled when I started, because I kind of felt like I needed to fit a certain I don't know the word, but anyway, it was hard to balance between what kind of like what I wanted to make and what I thought that people want me to make. And then my husband said to me once that there are so many people in the world that if there's something that you like, there is another person who will like that as well. And you should really do what makes you happy, because that will, in the end of the day, that will show and that will make other people happy too. And that's something that I've been trying to live by, and I think that's kind of the best advice that I have ever gotten, because when I started to do that, like really trust myself and really do the things that make me happy, I think my career as a knitwear designer like really took off. And yeah.
And somebody said your husband's right, definitely. I think
yeah, he is. He often is.
Yes. And there is one, I'm sure that everybody has their favorite of your design, and I have a few, but one that I've been looking at, and before Seleste, of course, is a poet in the issue 6, I think, of Line magazine.
Yeah.
That one is. Do you want to talk about that one? Just because I don't know, maybe because I love it, and I think I definitely something that I.
So many people love it. Yeah. It's my most popular pattern. Yeah.
And
it's kind of one of those things that, you know, like all the pieces suddenly fall together and like the stars are right or something like that. And it was a design that had been in my head for a really long time. It was a stitch pattern that I saw first on Pinterest, and then I started to tweak it, and then I started to look for a yarn. And when I went to my local yarn store, I saw Tuku wool in the colorway Runo, and I absolutely fell in love with the color, and I immediately knew that this is the right yarn for that project. And so I needed to sample, and at that point it wasn't like going for Line magazine. And then I saw the girls from Sini and Jonna from Line magazine, and I showed them the design, and they also fell in love with it and asked if they could have it in their magazine, and that's how it came along. So of course the photos of it in the magazine are beautiful, and there's so many things that so many pieces for design that can either make it or break it. And I think for the poet, everything just fell together. And yeah, and I have to show you here. I just started making socks today, so it's the poet pattern on socks.
Oh yes.
And
yes.
Yeah. And I still, after all this time, I still love this pattern. I just said to my husband that this is my favorite stitch pattern ever. So really happy about this. I casted it not on this today, and I had really hard time putting it down.
Wow. So
when I started to chat with you, but it's too hard for me to follow at the same time as I'm talking to you. So I had to take something simple to my hands.
What you have in your hands, is there something that you can talk about or not?
Yeah, it's I'm making a very simple summer top for myself. So it's going to be just like stockinette stitch, and then there's going to be like a slit at the back here at the top. So it's going to be slightly open at the back. So very simple design. Again, I'm working, making it for myself, and let's see if it becomes a pattern after that.
Right.
So that's usually how I work. I come up with something that I want, and it starts from there.
Talking about summer tea, you also had a very nice pattern in, I think it's Pom Pom magazine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it was sleeveless.
Yeah, it's the OG top. Yeah, the light mint color. Yeah.
Yes.
It was. Sorry.
That was also very, very pretty. Thinking about.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So it was in last summer issue of Pom Pom Quarterly, and so I think the pattern rights are coming back to me in June or something like that, and then it will become an individual pattern when I get the pattern rights back. Yeah.
And I think that one would be very good with a Baby Yak silk. Just
I think so too.
Yeah. I have a wish list, that I would like to knit. So definitely is that. But we just talked about Jonna and Sini from Line. I just want to let people know that they will also be coming as our guests in maybe not this week, in a couple of weeks. We will also have an episode with them, so that would be.
I have really have to tune in for that as well.
Yes, yeah. I mean, they're good friends. Going back to your point, do you think do you have a kid size or a kid pattern for that with that stitch? Because that is such a beautiful stitch, as you said. It's your favorite stitch. But
I've been talking about a kid's version of Poet for a while. I've been talking about it with two of my knitter friends who have smaller like girls, because I don't think it's very suitable for boys to pattern. It's quite kind of girly, but even though I usually try to think so that things are not like boy stuff or girl stuff, but it's on the girlier side. So I have a couple of friends who have girls, so I've been talking with them about the idea of making a girl version of or kids version of Poet, so that they would knit them for their daughters, and I could use them as models. But I was supposed to do that already last autumn, but I've been so busy. We moved from the west coast of Finland to Helsinki, and with a new job and everything, so just haven't got around to it yet. But when I started to make the poet socks, I remembered that as well. So it's coming. It's coming at some point. Yeah, and I'm also thinking about making a shawl with the same pattern. So yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a absolute favorite? I know it's very difficult to answer, but do you have a absolute favorite design of yours?
Of my own designs, or yeah, my own designs. This one, this one is one of the favorites, and of course, Poet is one of my favorites. And then there's this old one called Narwhal. I don't know if you remember. It's has a cable pattern on front. It's white from top down. It's one of my first own designs that actually came a pattern. So that's really close to my heart. So those are my favorite patterns.
And how do you come up with names? I mean, Seleste. Why the name Seleste, for example?
I don't know. I don't know where they come. They just come. The Poet came because the colorway I used for it is called Runo. It's poem in Finnish. So I was first thinking about naming it Poem, but then I thought Poet sounds better.
Yeah.
I don't know why it became Celeste. I just like the name, and I thought it's fitting. Of course, I usually, if I think about a name, and then I go on Ravelry and check if there's multiple patterns with the same name, because if there's like so many same name patterns, it's confusing for people. So there were no other Celestes. So I think that's that's really nice, and it's with an S and then the C for so it's more like Finnish style of writing. I often use Finnish words for my pattern names and Finnish names.
Yeah, so people can butcher them like
Yeah.
that's easy. You have one that so I was curious because you have one that is it's called Roman Holidays.
Yeah.
And it has anything to do with Italy?
Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, or the movie. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's named after Audrey Hepburn.
Oh, there. Hi. I see who you are. Yes. Hi there. And have you ever been to Italy?
Many times. I love Italy. It's like I would love to live in Italy, especially in Tuscany. It's my favorite place in the world. And I've been to Rome many times, and to Tuscany, and all over Italy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I see all the time.
I love it.
Hearts right now.
Yeah, I love Italy. Yeah.
So maybe we should, when things get better, we should really think about doing a retreat in Italy with you.
Yes, I would love to come to Italy for a retreat anytime. That would be so nice. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. Now, thinking about the future, hopefully this coronavirus will, things will get slowly better, and with the help of everybody going through this nightmare right now. So, what do you think would be the first thing that once things are better, what would be the first thing that you want to do? What is that you miss the most?
I miss my friends. We have a really nice knitting. So lovely for you to ask me to join you, even though I was so nervous at the beginning, because I have never, like I said, I have never done an Instagram live before, but it's been nice. So I can come again if you want me.
Yeah, I think maybe once when you start the call, then maybe we can check in at one point. Maybe, a lot of people are doing this Zoom meeting, which I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm trying to learn as it goes as well. Trying to basically operate from my bedroom. So trying to figure things out, but it would be nice to to get you back And when we are like, a little bit further in the Tanita Long, and when people have the yarn in their hands and of course there will be people have all different type of yarns, and it will be lovely. So I think unless there's any question, I think I would like to thank you for doing this. I know
thank you for having me, and thanks for the lovely yarn. It's been, like I said, it's been a pleasure to knit with it. Yeah.
Thank you. And as again, for the people that join us a little bit later, Sari has a special on Ravelry. All of the pattern, not just Seleste, but all of the other patterns are 20% off. She has a YouTube channel every couple of weeks, a little bit often, more often now. She's talking about her work, her design, and she's really, really nice when she does that. Thank you for saying that. Somebody says you're two inspirational women. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So tune in her channel and get a 20% off on Seleste and all of the other beautiful designs. You can't go wrong. Just put them all in your click that PayPal button and support Sari. And she will talk about Tanita Long soon, so stay tuned, and we will also post about that.
Yeah.
And so just a quick note, the next one is the Knitting Yak virtual edition. The next episode is going to be on Wednesday with Andrea, again, if we manage. And we will talk about the fibers and the animals. So it's a little bit more specific. It's really everything about what's behind these skins, where the skin's coming from.
That sounds interesting.
All of the technical stuff. So all the veterinarian side of it, but I will show a lot of the design as well to make it a little bit more interesting. And then we have a few more people coming up. We have Pohi Locatelli, we have Andrea Mauri, we have the Line Girls, we have Valentina Cosciani in Italy, and Federica from Wool Crossing. We have Monarch Knitting, the store in California, coming on with us. Lucia in Spain, and a few others. So we're trying to do it, and it's normally Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesday at 4 p.m. New York time. So it's probably 8 or 9 in Europe. I think you're
9 Central European time, and it was 10 p.m. in Finnish time, so like Eastern European time.
I think you're changing the clock goes back next week.
Next. I think it's today or this night. Yeah, okay. we changed to summertime, so it's 1 hour more. Yeah.
But we will post everything on our Instagram, and so keep following us. I'm actually trying to save this one and see whether I can put it on the IGTV. If I manage to do that, I didn't manage for the first one. So. Once more, thank you so much, Sari.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and stay safe, healthy.
Yeah. And thank you everybody for being with us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.